It does, and I think that's important to note with the young guys. If you're out there and if you're coaching your kids, and I know some of our listeners have and are, and you're coaching them in any sport, you're coaching your sons in baseball, your daughters in softball, it's really important to teach them to love the game, but it's really important to teach them to respect the game too. It's such an important game growing up. The friends you can make at 8, 9, 10, up until 18, 19 years old playing baseball are friends you will keep for the rest of your life, and memories you'll share, guys you played against, and you don't even know them, and it's happened to me in my life, guys that I didn't know, but I knew who they were, and they didn't know me, but they knew who I was because we played against each other for 10 years throughout high school and in middle school and everything else, and you bump into them as adults, and somehow the conversation comes up, and there's a handshake and a nod and like yeah, I remember you, I respected you. Yeah, it's just a great thing, and it's a great way to build your life in a town or just to build a nice network of people. And God bless the game of baseball. I love every second of it, and I can't believe it's October already. So with that said, man, I'm not ready to close it out, but
now I don't know, should we talk about the slot fest that was this NFL weekend?
Yeah, let's get to it, man, because we're going to do a show probably, Harbor Mike will be coming in on Thursday, and we will be doing our fantasy lineup builder for Daily Fantasy, which, again, so close. I know you have prior engagements on Thursday night, and you're not able to join us on that one, but we were so damn close. We called some big money plays. Everything actually is getting really, really close. Jaquez Rogers was a big turnout. Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford all gave you that middle-of-the-road performance, but you needed it, and it helped. God, there was a couple calls. One, I had LeGarrette Blount coming out of the darkness. That was typical Bill Belichickian, just stuff from the mastermind himself, where last week James White tears it up for the Patriots, and you know one thing and one thing only. If James White goes off 1 week for the New England Patriots, Bill Belichick is going to change that up and make sure that the following week LeGarrette Blount goes. That's just simply what he does. There's no rhyme or reason to any of it. So we played LeGarrette Blount. We pumped those guys out there, and they were all good turnouts. I'm actually really proud of the way that some of this stuff is shaping up with the Daily Fantasy. So I won't go on a complete tirade, but I got to point out that my boy Harbor Mike told the listeners out there you got to start Julio and A.J. Green. And yeah, they're big names, big players. It's not a mystery, but he did say you got to start them no matter how expensive they are, and then plug in a crappier wide receiver like a Jamison Crowder, who was cheaper to make room, and he was right. Had we picked a better defense, we were both winning big, and we were sitting, you and I, buddy, we'd be sitting up in Cleveland getting ready to watch this game tomorrow night. But I didn't, and we're getting close, so keep listening. But let's talk about this NFL horse shit that we've been watching. Peeps, I got to tell you, man, we're 7 weeks into the NFL season. My Oakland Raiders are 5-2. They're in Tampa next week. I got my tickets today. I'm going to the game, and I'm really not that excited because I think the product on the field from the NFL sucks.
It has not been good. I'm a big proponent. I think Thursday night football in itself should just be abolished. I'm not a fan of Thursday night football. The matchups are always terrible. The quality of the game.
I would have argued with you. 8 weeks ago, I would have argued with you. Right? 8 weeks ago, I would have argued with you. Right now, I'm not arguing with you. I think you're right. You're 100% right.
Thursday night football has to go. And look what we're getting this Thursday. We're getting the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. Who wants to see that game on prime time television?
Colorblind. They're going to do that color rush again with the gold and the bright blue jerseys. Yeah, it's just I don't give a shit if you put them all in ballerina costumes. It's not a good game.
It boils down to the NFL being greedy. It's greedy. These players, they need more time to rest.
They do. And it's a saturated market. You've got them on at 9 o'clock in the morning, breakfast with the NFL, which 5 years ago I thought that was a great idea. Now it's hey Goodell, let me at least get a couple cups of coffee in me and get my 5 teams put together and pick all my daily fantasy teams and get all my Sunday swim picks in because I frickin' did not click finalize on Sunday Swim. How's that for embarrassing, buddy? I am the ambassador for Sunday Swim liaison here, and I didn't click finalize. I had 2 parlays that whacked, and I didn't finalize them. Man, I just drank Bloody Marys the rest of the day to compensate for it. However, the product on the field is under a microscope. Every catch is reviewed. Every scoring play is reviewed. Every flag. I think Jeff Triplett in the Raider game by the end of the night had to put his arm on ice from throwing a flag so many times. You can throw a flag on every play. So I think something needs to change. Either the onus has to fall on the coaches to clean the game up or on the referees to just let them get away with murder. Somebody's got to get it cleaned up because I can't watch 25 penalties in a game anymore. I can't do it. It's horseshit.
No, that London, that 9:30 London crap has to go too.
Yeah, it's garbage.
It is absolute garbage, is what it is.
The players don't want to be there. Those guys are exhausted. They're wiped out. It screws their whole body clock up. And by the way, NFL, figure something out. If everybody's going to play a Thursday night game, get these two teams that are playing on the London games, give them a bye the following week. Figure something out to add a little extra cushion. Don't ask these teams to play again the following week. That is horse shit. And they've gotten to the point where they're downright abusive at this point. I know they make millions of dollars. I know that. That's always the reply I get. They make millions of dollars. But you're dealing with human beings. And you're dealing with a dumbed-down, watered-down product at this point. These guys don't rest enough. They're tired. They're banged up. They don't practice properly anymore because there's no contact due to a CBA that manipulated the way things actually needed to be. It's just the product isn't. It's just not very good, and I don't see it getting any better. I think you're watching the demise of the NFL.
Very much so. Very much so. The NFL is still going to be around at the end of the day, though. It's still a brute force and a juggernaut that everybody wants that product. But I have to say, this year has been disappointing in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's been garbage. Sorry. It's just not something I haven't enjoyed. I can't watch 25 penalties. I can't, especially as a fantasy football player. You see guys like C.J. Anderson catch the ball out of the backfield, go 15 yards for a touchdown. There's a legitimate holding call, but if the holding call is 20 yards away from the play, and your touchdown is your fantasy player, it's coming back, your 15 yards are coming back, and that happens. I think they feel obligated on big runs. Anytime a big gaping hole is opened up, the officials are obligated to throw laundry because they just feel like, well, that hole just shouldn't open up like that. There's got to be a flag. And I'm not blaming the officials for anything. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that there's entirely too many flags. It's ruined the game, and I'm having a hard time watching it. I never thought I'd say that. Bail me out here. I know I'm going crazy.
I'd like to come up with some optimism here. Normally that's you with the optimism. Normally I'm the one going on the tirade about something.
I'm cranky too. It's Monday.
But you're right. It's just I get annoyed with the flags. I have to totally stand here and agree with you. Thursday night football is garbage. This London games are garbage. The game has totally favored the offense. The offensive teams. I would not for anything want to be a defensive back in today's NFL. You can't do anything. You can't do anything. I mean, look at some of these Hall of Famers that would want no part of playing in today's NFL. You got to adjust on the fly. You don't know. You can't hit somebody. We want to anymore.
You can hit somebody if their name's Cam Newton.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Tell me about it. You can't hit somebody if their name's Tom Brady.
Yeah, you can't breathe on Tom Brady. You hit Cam Newton in the jaw and go, oh, he's 6'5". Yeah, there's definitely different treatment. Certain players almost seem as though they are flagged for protection or flagged for it's okay to let them get thumped. You're dealing with the human element as long as that's involved, in which it always will be until robots take over the officiating job and they somehow scan what's a hold and what isn't a hold. I think long before any of that happens, this game will go away. It's already going away as we know it. But it's just not that much fun to watch anymore with the penalties. They're so frustrating. These games are taking 3.5 hours. And it's holding coming back. Illegal hands to the face. Some of these penalties you just can't allow to happen. But every catch is under a microscope. It takes 10 minutes for 5 guys to figure out whether or not the ball moved a quarter of an inch. I'm just sick of it. And I'm sick of it, dude. I'm sick of it. Go hockey season.
Well, I'm not ready to go that far because I still am a huge football NFL fan. But there's some things they need to get right.
Yeah, I think more. Don't get me wrong. I'm not giving up my bread and butter here, but I'm just not loving it. Just not loving it.
No, and the Jets too. The Jets too. The other day, I can't believe it with some of them. Some of the things that I saw on Sunday. Poor Geno Smith too. I gotta say, I never thought I actually
Really?
would say this, but poor Geno Smith. He didn't look half bad. I know it was only a matter of time before Geno.
I tried to defend him to you in the playoff, in the preseason, and you told me I was out of my effing skull.
You are out of your mind, but you were at the time. But the thing is, he wasn't looking half that bad, and of course he goes down and gets hurt. I'm like, oh, figure. And here comes Fitzpatrick and going on a tirade about how when the owners don't believe you, and I'm like, hey Ryan, guess what, buddy? You threw 12 interceptions in 3 games. Who's going to believe in you?
You threw 12 interceptions in 4 attempts, right?
Yeah.
That's not even possible. Yeah,
that's like the audacity. That's some audacity right there, brother.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like,
it is.
But I don't know. I gotta say, I hate the New England Patriots, but I absolutely just love Rob Gronkowski. I love that dude.
Yeah, he's a horse, and there are guys out there that save this game, that make things interesting still.
Well,
there are things about the NFL that I still very much love.
Here's the thing. This is what makes. Did you happen to see what Rob Gronkowski's the interview that he had, the press conference after the game?
I did, and I came home and was staring at my major league package.
It is. Oh yeah, I do the same thing. It sometimes can get to you, man. You'd be in awe. But
the music starts and that gold light shimmers down.
No, I'm adequate at best. Just being honest. But
don't
anyway,
be so hard on yourself.
I know. Anyway, though, Rob Gronkowski is one of the coolest dudes I think I've seen in the NFL. They talked about him having a record. He had the 68th touchdown reception. They said, "What do you think about it? You're 68. You're tied for the Patriot all-time Patriot lead for the New England Patriots." And he goes, "All it means to me is the next one I'll have 69."
Did he really?
He swear. He said, and then he looked and winked at one of the reporters or whatever. Goes, "You know what I'm talking about, baby."
Thank goodness for that, because that's what I'm talking about. That's real shit right there. That's just a grown man not pretending to be anything other than what he is. It's just a grown man having a good time. And, is that locker room talk? Yeah. Does locker room talk exist? Yeah, just like that, and it's fun.
Yeah, and you know something? They talk about the Patriot way. Who is the most un-Patriot way? But it doesn't matter. But he's kind of that goofy kid that I think Belichick just shakes his head at and looks at him like, if you were not just so damn good, I'd hate you.
No, it's true. He'll probably drive you nuts, but that's a guy who just shows up and he does his job. Is Rob Gronkowski, does he miss a block? Is he ever run the wrong route? Is he ever not in position? He doesn't make those mistakes. He does his job. He can do whatever he wants as long as he does his job. And that's important. A little tidbit for you here on the side note. Do you know that the last time the Indians were in the World Series, Hanson performed the national anthem?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Hanson performed a national anthem in a war last time the Indians were in the World Series. Hanson.
Yeah, I remember.
Those guys are retired right now. That was in 1997. Bop, Hanson, dear God.
That might be the most god awful music I might have ever heard in my life.
In my younger years, a bar I used to frequently get thrown out of had Bop on the jukebox, and one night I got tossed for misbehaving. And on the way out, I walked to the machine, put $10 in, and played Bop on a loop. I was asked to never do that again.
I was actually at a bar. My buddy, faithful listener to the show, Rudy D, was a DJ at this place called Johnny J's. And I went up there with a couple times, and there was this group of girls. I mean, I was kind of, I kind of would go around the bar because I'm like this, and I'd be like, hey, I'm the DJ's assistant. Is there any special requests I can play? And I was totally just trying to get laid. But
Just kidding.
I could, yeah, right. I talked to these girls, and one of these girls asked for Bop, and I remember I turned around to them. I said, and actually, they're actually very attractive. But I turned around and I said, it's not that good. It can't possibly be that good. You are not getting any Bop on this speakerphone. I will not listen to it just for the whole hopes of sleeping with you.
Maybe you'd rethink that nowadays, but
yeah, I mean, if I really thought I had a shot, I would have been like, okay, but here, maybe here's some Bop, and I'll go in the back for a minute. But yeah. So, anyway, we're sidetracked, but we're good, man. On that note, we'll go ahead and call it a night. We'll end on Bop, which is a first, hopefully a last. My fault.
I'm going to the outro music. On that note.